If you want to get nicer, cleaner, insect and disease-free fruit, it's what you do this year that will have the biggest influence on next year's results. So do this. If you've been disappointed with the results from your fruit trees this year, or if you've had good results, it's likely what you did last year that had the most effect on your fruit trees. So here's 5 things that you can do this year before winter that will have the best chance of giving you great results next year. Pick up all the dropped fruit. Ideally, the sooner after you finished harvesting that tree, gather the fruit that is below the tree. This will really reduce the chance that any insect that's in your fruit won't overwinter. Let me give you an example of the life cycle of these insects. If your fruit is in the tree and an insect lays an egg on the fruit, that egg hatches, the larva burrows into the fruit, it will develop inside the fruit, and then one day, when that fruit falls to the ground, that's the signal for the insect to start its migration out of the apple and into the soil. Where? Right below the tree. So cut that cycle of the insect by picking the fruit up, and you'll really reduce the chance that next year those insects will go, hey, look at this. I don't have to go far. I'll just reinfect that same tree. It's fall. Once the leaves fall, chop them up with a mower. That's the best way you can reduce the chance of spreading disease to the tree next year. Because just like the insects, disease can be on the leaf falls, and it's perfectly positioned to reinfect the tree next year. So this year, just run your mower, chop them up. What'll it do? Research has shown that chopping the leaves, mowing them, is the best way to reduce the inoculum, which is the spores or the seeds for next year that can then reinfect the tree. So chop them. Don't get rid of it. You say, well, if it's diseased, I should take those leaves away. No, don't take the leaves away. That's what leaves do. They fall, and then they feed the tree next year, because that's the tree's normal source of nutrition, is the leaves. And if you chop them, even better. And hey, here's a tip. If you have other trees that drop their leaves and you go, oh, I bag them and I get rid of them, don't. Take those leaves, bring them near the fruit trees, chop them up, let this tree have extra nutrition, and you know what? A well-nourished tree will have far stronger immune system, will be better able to combat insects and disease. Because that's really what it comes down to. You want the trees to have their leaves. In the end, insects in the fruit and disease on the leaves are not the problem. They're pointing you to the problem. Most often, it's a lack of proper nutrition and proper drainage. Get those 2 right, and your tree will not be diseased. You want to find out more about insect disease and really maintenance of your trees? Check out our maintenance course at permaculture.study and start today for free. Consider adding a diversity around your fruit tree. Nature loves diversity, and so does your fruit tree. It's fall, a great time to plant. Maybe you have a favorite herb or a few different herbs. Plant them around your fruit tree. Maybe it's a flower. Grow that. Maybe it's berries. Plant them. This will all reduce the competition from grass to your fruit tree, and most importantly, it will keep your mower and weed eater away from the tree. Hey, when I used to consult in landscaping, whippersnippers were the greatest cause of tree decline because people would mow and whippersnip right up against the tree. Don't do that. Plant around your fruit tree, get the mower at a distance, and your tree will be much happier. And diversity is always nice. Does your fruit tree need to be wrapped for the winter? Preferably not, unless you're trying to grow a fruit tree that is really not hardy for your region. Look up the hardiness zone for that exact cultivar that you have. Make sure you know what it is. And look up the hardiness of the zone you are in. actually recommend that you choose a cultivar that is hardy to one full zone colder to the one that you're in. How do I know? I lost 1,000 apple trees to the coldest winter in the last 70 years, and I know it hurts. So plant fruit trees with a built-in insurance policy, because that's what it really is. It's an insurance policy for the colder winters. And you know what? In that case, you won't get caught by a changing climate in a negative way. If you're in the southern or warmer edge of that species or cultivar, then make sure you choose a cultivar with what's called low chill hours, just in case you have a winter that's not quite as cold as normal. Low chill will still give you flowers and fruit. Protect your trees from rodents and deer. Trees are an investment. Maybe you've just planted some fruit trees and you want them to live. Protect them. The best is a 1/4-inch mesh galvanized guard that goes around the tree, ideally when you plant it, to protect against voles and rabbits. In our area, I would now go with 2 feet high. Used to be 1.5 feet, but we've had snow deep enough that they still would girdle above the guard. So 2 feet works well. If you're in an area with a lot of deer, fencing is important. And I would say watch this video next.